this fateful day of October 11th. Yep, at 12:44 p.m. We are here to read the scariest book on this what's left of my 25 and 2025 list. It is not the second book in Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings. It's not that one, or the next in the Cosmere. It is instead Holy Revolutions. I listen, I really wish I was better at editing and or filming, because I want to make a horror intro for this, because this book scares me. Yeah, that's what's happening in this video. I'm just gonna be reading this. I want to do it this whole weekend. We don't need to talk about it. I want to do it only in this weekend. Let's hope. I would like to know, there is going to be part 2. This is going to be reading this book at some point, hopefully in the first 6 months of next year. I'm going to do House of Leaves because I bought both of them at the same time. I think that one will be better for me. Honestly, I think I'll enjoy that one more. Now, Only Revolutions, if you don't know what this is, good, because neither do I. And I feel so much fear. I feel like I also have to bring up, yes, it is afternoon, and I am just about to pick this up, and I want to read it this weekend and Saturday. My explanation on why is because I did the math, and I think if I read one of these a week, I will actually manage to do it, which is a feat I've never done before, honestly. So, that's why. Also, easy video, I assume. And most importantly, it is fall. It's fall. It's starting to get cold outside. By that I mean, when I walked Bella at 9 a.m, so the sun was out for a while yesterday, it was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. It was below freezing. I could see my breath. I was dying. Also, I have no heat up here. So I came up here to film, and I should really stop filming sooner rather than later. Maybe this will make me shut up, because it's cold. It's cold. I haven't checked the temp. Just because I checked things, because I saw that there was a 2. Okay, it's 2. This is, oh, right. So this is, okay. So this is about, what's his name? Or what's their names? There's, H on this side. This is H's side. And then this side is S's. If I can get to it. I have to get it passed through all the title page stuff. This is S's side. Now you may be like, girl, why are there tabs already? Or sticky notes. Funny thing about this, I did purple for this, because it was what I had out for one of the colors I was using for Oathbound when I planned to annotate Oathbound. I finally did that like a week ago, and the whole time I was like, why does purple of these have less in the stack than the rest of them? It's because I did this, like almost immediately after getting it, because the thing is, what you're supposed to do is, you see, I'm just gonna, zoom in. Beautiful. Every, 8 pages, so you read all that you can read on this page before turning it upside down, right? And then every 8 pages, you flip. So if you're reading this, oh no, you reach 8 pages, you go this, and then you do this, and then you read what you can read from this side, from the same page marker from this side, and then you keep on doing that. You keep on doing that. And yeah, so these are every 8 pages. That's what's happening here. I marked every 8 pages, so I will remember. The main issue I'm starting to notice here, there's actually 2. One, I have a reading injury. You know, this is only the second time this has happened to me. This time it was Brandon Sanderson's fault. Reading Skyward. I also own a physical copy of that, so reading a 500-page book, really, mixed with the cold, really made my tendonitis act up. I have both carpal tunnel and tendonitis on both sides, but it really made on my left side act up. So me having to read a physical book, but also flip it and turn it upside down every 8 pages may be an issue. And I noticed this. I took off the wrist brace just to film this. I'm gonna put it back on. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna make some warm tea. I'm going to, it's gonna be apple strudel tea, German apple strudel tea. We're gonna read this. We're gonna have an experience, and then I can say, and like, I can say I read this. I can say I read this. This will be a bigger feat than reading War and Peace. I would like everyone to know, if you think I can't do this in this weekend, I did read Anna Karenina. After all this time, I still can't do it. I did read all of her in like 3 days, and I also started that one at like noon, if I remember properly. So it's fine. It won't be a first. It definitely won't be a last. Oh yeah, what's the other issue you may be asking? I can read upside down. Like, very easily. Like, I can very easily read upside down. Like, for this one, oh, let me see. There, the crowd abruptly parts, and I'm stunned by the bandaged and stitched Grimace still crawling after Sam. Is S Sam? I don't know. Yeah, I could easily read upside down. It takes me like a second, but once I start, I can do it. So I'm going to have to make a physical effort not to spoil myself by reading the other half of the page at the same time. So, yeah. Also, from me looking up info on how to read this, from what I can tell, this part on the inside margin, is like news articles. Yeah, this is like April 9th, 1931 is what this one says. So, you know, that's great. I feel fear. I'm going to go read this now. Somebody save me. I do love, listen, I do love how the ISBN and the publisher are on both sides upside down. Like, that is actually kind of funny, okay? He really went all out with that. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Don't worry, it also has the National Book Award finalist on both sides. So, I'm gonna go read this. I'm gonna go scream into a void when I do so. I feel fear. I don't know when I'll update you, because like halfway through, is halfway through a quarter through, technically? Like, no, halfway through would still be halfway through, but like this is, I don't know. I may be time-lapsing some of this too, because I feel like my live reactions of this will be very funny. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Goodbye. Hopefully I don't go too crazy. Okay, I have update because I already have thoughts. Also, I'm streaming, surprise, surprise. Is anybody ever surprised? No. I did try to read it with the wrist brace on, and it did not help. So, anyways, I started reading with a time lapse at 3:30 p.m. Yes, I did write down markers, so I could put in for editing. Anyways, I'm being called a monster because I wouldn't let my dog attack a field mouse today. I'm just a rude person. You may be wondering, how am I keeping track where I am on both sides? And magnetic bookmarks. Sam is the Emily Cromwell Designs one that I got recently, and Haley is the donut one that was a gift from a friend, and that's how I'm doing it. Okay, things and stuff. Sam tends to use animals in his descriptors, or it says things with animals. Here, let me, coy dogs is on that page. You can tell when they are happening because they're in bold. Angus and Herefords, magpies and chickadees, American widgeons, stuff like that, right? Purple shrew, ravens, fleas and ticks, deer mice, fireflies and antelopes, short-horned lizards, brant geese. But like at the same point in the book, she will be doing the same thing, but with plant words. Jamison's weed, walnut and hyacinth, huckleberry, you know, like things like that. Solomon Zigzag, Hemlocks, Iris, Meadow and Salsify, Wild Chives. I don't know what any of this means. Why? Why? That's my main question. Other things. The little, this section that I think I already said is articles or something. It seems to be like headlines, and then occasionally there will be a italicized portion that seems to be like notes that I'm assuming somebody's writing on newspapers of that exact day. And I can tell you this because I can read upside down. I can tell you when it starts and ends. It starts on November 22nd, 1863. I'm in 1878 now. And ends in 2063. Right? So somehow we're going through time throughout this. There's also a thing where, okay, I already don't like Sam. Where they have two very different views of what's happening. Like, the first time you flip the book is right after they meet and they introduce themselves to each other. And when it happens on his, Haley is all like, she curtsies, Haley hi is in his POV, but then in hers, which is on this page, is him bowing and saying, hi, I'm Sam. And it's like this whole parallel thing happening. But also there's like a point in the part that I just read in his POV. He's all like, I offered her a position and she didn't gracefully take it and kicked me, but like in very weirdly written poetry. All their, like, this section is all in poetry. The big section is all in, like, essentially poetry. And his internal monologue is very, I don't know how to describe his. Hers is very much like, I'm better than everybody else. Nobody knows how strong I am. Which is fine because I'm pretty sure within, like, the first, like, 5 pages of her POV, is her being assaulted by a man. So, in the middle of the woods. Anyways, he's all like, in his POV, he's all like, I offered her a job, right? And I was being so gracious and all this stuff. And then, he plans to offer her position of maid later on. And I would like to know, he doesn't say what position he offered her at first. And then later on, in the same section, he's like, maybe I'll offer her a maid position instead, right? And then gets really upset because he sees her with somebody else. Because he's fallen behind her, and that makes him upset because he can't ask her, I guess, and they seem to be close. Meanwhile, in her POV, the position he originally offered her is slave. Yeah, and so then it's her essentially trying to run away from this man in the middle of the woods that she randomly came upon in the middle of the woods. As a bunch of children, like, poke at her. Then when she attacked him and kicked him, I think she kicked him in the ween. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, and then the person she meets up with that makes him so upset because they're so close. He's also, like, yelling for her to please slow down. And she's trying to go faster, and then she meets up with a friend. That's who it is. It's just a friend that he's so mad that she's hanging out with right now because he can't ask her to be a maid instead. Which is kind of given, like, rich guy, presumably white guy, being all like, here, work for me so that I can, right? Here's the thing. My theory right now, based off of the notes in the article headings aspect, my theory right now is time travel. Something to do with time wonky stuff. Because one, the articles go from the 70s or not the 60s to 2063, 200 years, right? But there's also there's this one part in the notes, I don't remember whose side it was on, but in the, like, italicized, I'm assuming somebody's notes in the articles was something along the lines of don't change anything. And that's given me, like, maybe she accidentally time traveled to the past. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with theories. Anyways, I have to take a break from reading to do other things. So that's fun. I don't understand all the people who read this multiple times. Because literally there's also like this whole thing where there was like on page 6, on both their pages 6, there's like a black dot on the bottom of the bottom corner. And so I was all like, hey, what does this mean? And there was like a bunch of people, and I found this like thread of people being like, I don't know what it means. This is the one theory. And they were talking about like all the different times they've read it and how they haven't figured it out. And I'm like, huh? Are you okay? Anyways, oh, also, just a little cool thing is that in the O's, all the O's are not black, and they're different colors on the sides. On Sam's, it's green, which means I can't see it, really. It's very difficult. And then on Haley's, it's yellow, so I can see it. So, basically, the moral of the story is if I can see the yellow, or see the O, and it's pretty obvious to me, that means I'm on Haley's side. And if it's hard to see the O's or they look like the rest of the letters, that means it's Sam. I assume they chose the colors for specific reasons, but apparently in different editions it's different colors, and sometimes they don't do the colors, and so nobody knows what the meanings of the color means. And I did notice at one point when I was filming the intro that this is a thing, and it's like a yellow version on her side, and so I don't know is the moral of the story. I just don't know. Like, it's even a thing in like the about section for the author on both sides. Like, I don't, and like all the reviews and the title page stuff, like I don't know. Even in a novel on here. That's weird. Anyways, I'm confused. Wait, I gotta make sure I'm putting it up on the right side, so I open it on the right side. I'm confused. And I need to prep stuff for my dinner and do some housework real quick. So that's why I took a break. The fact that I got to page 16, or well, technically 17, we're so proud. It's only 4% of the book. Oh god, I fear this may break me. It's fine. It's fine. I was thinking in my head, oh wow, I'm reading this so fast because like this is the text font size right now. But like eventually it's gonna be this. And I'm gonna have to be sitting here like, what are words? I don't know how to read anymore. Anyways, I'm gonna go do those things I need to do. I've been talking for too long. I don't want this vlog to be 600 hours. It's nearly 7:30, so I just read for 2 hours. Yeah, that's how math works. What page am I on? I'm on page 74, I believe. My goal, 73, that's right. My goal loosely is 160. I'll just be happy if I get to 100. Tonight I am going faster. By just accepting what I'm reading. I just letting it flow. I'm using the annihilation method of just reading and just accepting whatever I'm reading. Fun fact, because there's like, it's double-sided, the page numbers are on for both on the sides, and apparently when you flip it, they make a circle. They like go around each other, and I think that's cool. Anyways, what happened? Oh yeah, I wrote pages that I wanted to read portions of, which was in the early 40s because they banged delaying. They've been delayed multiple times now. This is from Sam's point of view, by the way. Oh yeah, a part that really made me laugh, is Swoon and Drool, oh butter girl. Hilarious. It's not romance if he doesn't call you butter girl. Anyways, oh yeah, the other section was like the list of all the types of people she's banged, right? Because like they so they start making out, right? Because honey, I don't fucking know. And she's all like, in her POV, well, in both POV, she's all like, what's your history? In hers, it's because like he's clearly not good at kissing. And in his POV, he's all like, I am just such a hot gentleman that every woman wants me. In her POV, he's all like, never done it. And then he asks her what hers is, and in his, we get like a list, which is a bunch of men, but also even gals, wooed, forced, scorned, adored, pals, perverts, the bored, nothing to lose, and none of me at any time untouched repeatedly. That's nice. On her POV, she's just like, I give him a list. In his, he's all like, how could, or no, in his, he's all like, that's totally fine, because at least she's experienced. And hers, no, he's not happy about it, but they then bang-a-lang. Let me tell you, it is, every time, it's disgusting. Around this point is also when I realized the, you know, when you have to flip, the next page will have, start with the big giant letter. So, that's when I learned that, so that's great. I love it for me that I used up all these sticky notes, but that's fine. You know, so basically at this point they find a car after bang-langing on just a random a piece of ground, I don't know. They find a car, they go off on a drive. I love switch of POVs. In his mind, in his POV, he's really good at the deed. I really did not like in reading either POV, it's just really gross. Every smutty scene, including when he's driving and she decides to get a mouthful of him. I know. Anyways, in his mind's eye, he's really good at the act and he's really getting her going. I would like to know, I did laugh really hard when in her POV after reading his, where he's all like, see, I'm just a ladies' man, him be like, I'm a virgin. I died laughing. But you know, so he thinks he's all great, and then they come across a random creep on the side of the road, and he's being a creep towards Haley, but in his POV he's all like angry about it and whatnot. In her POV, she's into it because she's into the danger of it. And she thought Sam was dangerous because they're both technically on the run from the law. But alas, and so now, she's angry when Sam gets him to leave. But they're also invited to an event. I don't know. And then the end of the section that I just read, I am stopping because I have to go walk Bella. But the end of the section I just read, is her basically explaining in both POVs, how she has never reached completion ever, and in his POV I think he was just like, not with me, I will make it better, or something like that. Oh right, okay, so in his POV he's like, how many times have you done it though? And then just holds her hand afterwards. In her POV afterwards, when he's like, but how many times have you done it? She gives him a number, and he's all like freaking out. And that's where I left off on page 73. The writing is interesting. I'll be honest, the reason why I'm going faster is because the headline stuff on the inner whatever border, I am skimming. I'm barely reading that. I don't think it's important that important because when you flip to this side, it's not on the bottom half. Bottom half? Top half. What am I saying? Yeah, when you flip to her side, it is on, his side doesn't have it here on the smaller side. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my god. so it's gonna be her other side. It's not there for like a good chunk of the book. So I'm like, is it really important? Do I really need to skim it? Like, I'm skimming it. Like, at one point, one of them was like, I killed somebody. And they're talking about shooting people in war a lot. And I'm like, okay. But also, we're in 1918 now, by the way. Anyways, I don't understand the point of that, so I'm just skimming it. And if I learn at a later point, actually, that was important all along, I'll go, okay, fuck me, I guess. Also, I saw that this is here, but I just noticed that this is here. What the hell? Wait, is hers gonna be like plants? Because his was animals, and his whole thing is animals. Yeah, hers is plants. I think this is just like a mood board of each of them. That's kind of funny. I kind of like that. Anyways, the design of this book, ingenious. It must have taken so much time to specifically line everything up to make it print out properly. And so props for that, whoever had to do that. Bella really wants to go on her walk. So I'm gonna go. I'm 20% of the way through the book. So I want to read another 30-ish pages, but we're good for now. Because I'm gonna walk her and then I'm gonna get my dinner and then we'll see if I read more. Buddy clapped. It's been like an hour and I got 105 pages in, which is just under a third of the way. What has happened? They went to the party. I have this much between them. That's my third for each. They went to the party. The creepy guy turned out to be working for the mob, and so almost strangles Haley to death. They get away, and then almost immediately afterwards, Sam joins an orgy. Also, like, at this point, we learn that they're 16. Anyways, Sam joins an orgy for some fucking reason, and then he sees that Haley's upset with the fact that he joined an orgy. And so then he starts freaking out. He's like, I'm so sorry, I will never do this again. But she's also apologizing. I don't know. But then she's suddenly very sick, and so they run to a hospital where some random man... Okay, it's random man in his POV, and her POV, it's like somebody who works for the hospital, I think, gives her a random pill, and she takes it because they've just been waiting forever, right? And she won't stop being sick, and the police are like, okay, how old are you? Like, you're clearly doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. So she takes this random pill and she has an allergic reaction and almost dies. And some commissioners at the hospital, he's all like, we can't treat her because, she's a whore or something. I don't fucking know. Or a druggie or something. And then the police are like, actually, well, because she's technically dying from something that was given to her on your premises, you're responsible financially. And then he's like, get her back there, get her better. Yeah, she goes into anaphylactic shock. They bring her back. She's basically in the back of the hospital by herself now. And she's, lonely without Sam. That's all I read in that, 30 pages. That's what happened in that 30 pages. It's fine. Listen, here's my reasoning for not liking it. One, Sam's POV is the type of guy who thinks way too highly of himself, and thinks he's the best thing to ever exist. And so I don't like reading from his POV because of that. Yeah. And then the other reason I don't like it is because you're getting the whole book from two separate POVs back to back of the same scenes, or like there's differences here in like all around and all this stuff, and so you're just like, which one's telling the truth, which one's lying, is it somewhere in the middle, all this stuff. And that kind of makes it unreliable narrator. And I don't like books with unreliable narrators. I mean, the best unreliable narrator book to ever exist, Gone Girl. I was very mad about that, just because I don't like unreliable narrator books. Anyways, they're still on the run. I now know they're 16 and joining orgies. I don't freaking, yeah. It's a lot of like 16-year-olds who think they can do anything on the run, doing the nasty constantly, and then thinking they're the greatest love story to ever exist. That's essentially what's happening. That's the story so far. I say I'm not liking it, but the actual act of reading it, I'm not minding. Like, once I stopped reading the little internal things, like I occasionally will glimpse like a section or two of it, but I like am rarely reading these now. Because that was what was really bogging me down and feel like I was falling asleep as I was reading. Now that I'm just reading essentially what is a 360-page poetry book that I just kind of flip around occasionally, I'm enjoying a lot more. I do like those. I do like poetry books. I like poetry in general. I find it much more enjoyable. And then the actual, like, after turning and doing this constantly, I don't mind that much because, like, it is a cool idea and I am enjoying it in practice. It's just the characters themselves I'm not enjoying. Especially Sam. I hate Sam so much. Which makes it kind of difficult being as Sam is half this fucking book. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. It's 9:30, so I'm not going to bed. What I'm doing is getting ready for bed, and then I'm gonna go read another book that's easier on my wrist in bed as I relax before I go to bed. And then tomorrow I will wake up bright and early, walk my dog, and then read more of this. I think I could finish it tomorrow. I think I could. What, that's 255 pages? Yeah, 255 pages. I mean, without fully trying in 6 hours while also filming this and streaming and taking care of my dog and doing like a bunch of other small things around the house. Like, wasn't there like an hour or two long break at one point? I still managed to read 105 pages of it, and that's with like the first like what 60 or something like that. I was trying to read the weird article stuff as well. Now that I'm not doing that, I think it will be much faster. I think I can do it all tomorrow if I just sit down and do it at some point tomorrow. That's my thoughts and opinions, and that's my plan. I'm gonna go. Goodbye. This looks just so weird from the side. Oh my god. We're here with a Bella dog to update. I need to read here. I don't know how much more of my recording of me actively reading I'll be doing, because you know, all my reactions are going about something is about horrible, gross sex scenes. They officially passed each other in the markers, right? We're in the middle. We've well technically just passed the middle, but we did it. It is 2 p.m. officially. I started at a little after 11, right, Bella? Because I know I said I wanted to start early today, but I woke up with a migraine. If you don't know, if you're new here, I have chronic migraines. I haven't had one since last Monday, so honestly, it's a surprise that's taken this long to have one again. But I did have one again, and so I felt like it wasn't that bad this morning. I was just like waiting for meds to kick in before I actually started reading this, because it would take me out. Otherwise, I have 175 pages left. I'm just gonna do it. I don't know how much I'm gonna like actually record me actually reading, because I think it's just more of the same. Maybe a little bit more, right? Maybe like another hour that I'm gonna have to edit down later on. We're not worrying about that. Fuck me. But I also don't think I'm gonna update you again until I reach the end, because honestly, it's not exactly boring, but like nothing's happening. It's just eventually they leave the hospital, and there's more banging, but then the car breaks down, right? And they don't have money, obviously, and so then they start working at this restaurant, and that's where I'm at. They're like working at a restaurant together to earn money and survive, but they both also want to like be on the road again. Yeah. That's kind of all that's happening. One thing that I noticed is, which side? This side. This is Sam's side now. Yeah. Oh my god. Like if you look at the beginning of Sam's side, right? Like the stuff that I've already read for him is so big, and like most of the page and very large text. And I have noticed around like an hour into reading today, that the now two halves are around the same size, right? And so I guess it's just gonna get smaller as I read. So that's fun. That's just a fun fact I learned or noticed. Also, I did bring up yesterday, I know I brought up yesterday, how Haley's sections, her side, the O's are yellow, but there's been a few times in like the past 30 minutes that I was reading that the O's were yellow on Sam's side, and so I don't know what that means. I'm kind of a dum-dum, so I don't know what that means, but that's just the thing I'm pointing out. That's it. That's everything. I'm at the point where usually around halfway through, when I'm halfway through a book, I internally am like, okay, what are my thoughts and opinions? What do I think I will rate this type thing? I know. Okay, I know. Anyways, that's like usually what I do around halfway through, right? And my initial thought is a 2.5. But here's the thing, the last book I rated 2.5, was, the ending was good, but like most of the book, I was completely bored out of my mind. This one, even though I'm despising the characters, I don't, especially Sam. We've talked about this a billion times. I don't like Sam. Despite that, the action of actually reading, I'm not minding. And I'm enjoying the experience, and I'm not mad that I bought this one. I'm mad I bought that one. I'm not mad I bought this one. So, I don't know what to rate it. Like, is it good? No. Am I having a good time? Sometimes. But am I also enjoying the experience? Yes. Also, there was something in the author tab on one of the sides, I don't remember which side, in the describing how you're supposed to do this every 8 pages, he describes it as you're spinning them in a circle, right? Because you're doing this. And so you're spinning them in a circle because their journey is cyclical or whatever. And all this stuff. And that's cool, I guess. Though it did make me start viewing the relationship as what is it called? The Ouroboros. I think that's what it's called, where it's the snake that eats its own tail. Um, right? That's how I view the relationship. But also, this whole time, I have been reading it. The whole entire process of doing this has been like, I'm on the reading, like, the reading experience itself is a journey to parallel their journey in this book, is how I'm viewing it. Anyways, this is a very toxic couple of teenagers just trying to live their lives, I guess. I don't know. That's the plot, I guess. It's very much two 16-year-olds who think they're so strong and so smart and they know everything about the world, being in a toxic relationship, going through the world, trying to survive. The end. That's my synopsis of the book. I'm gonna go finish it. Actually, goodbye. That actually required me to sit up though, and I love you too. it's done. It's done. I have things I want to say, but I also want to sit on it for like 30 minutes max. It's 8:50, by the way. So I'm going to sit on it for like maybe 30 minutes. I want to take out all these and do all my tracking stuff, and then I'll move upstairs so it's not the same position 600 times today, and tell you my final thoughts. Though the whole reason why I turned this on to inform you I finish is because I was looking at other people's reviews so that I could feel like an outlier, because I think I liked it. I don't know. Somebody pulled up the book's wiki entry, in which I learned, so you know how at the beginning of the 8 section, when it's like your time to flip the book, there's like the big bold letter. Apparently if you, from Haley's side, it spells out Sam and Haley, Sam and Haley, Sam and Haley, etc. Right? And if you do the other, it's Haley and Sam, Haley and Sam, Haley and Sam. Also I learned each of like half page, so like this section 90 pages, this section 90 pages, which is 180 pages, which some people think means like for the every 180 degrees you have to turn the book, but also that means for a whole spread it's 360 words. Have I been saying pages on the page? Words on the page? Continuing the cyclical thing that was like even brought up on the sidebar thing over, was it on this side? Two beginnings, two never-ending endings, 200 years of history in the making, one pivotal midpoint in DLA Plaza, a one shared dream, and anyone can see that the dream at stake is America. You know what? I just got that from reading this person's review with the wiki in there, because apparently, the sidebar stuff with the articles, right? The dates in Sam's story are November 22nd, 1863 to November 22nd, 1963, so exactly 100 years. While Haley's run from November 22nd, 1963 to January 19th, 2063, and then after the actual publishing date of this book is blank, which is why it's blank for some of it but not all of it. The diverging point between them, the middle date, something I didn't clock because I went to American public school, so I don't have a good history, big brain. I don't know much about history. Apparently November 22nd, 1963, if you are somebody who knows about any American history, probably know that's Kennedy's assassination. That's the middle date. That's where they meet. That's like the meeting center of this book. Apparently, the middle of this book is Kennedy assassination. And with that whole thing I just read about the one shared dream and anyone can see that dream at stake is America, which also is a thing where, here, let me pull up an example. Let me try to find an example. Every time they say us about them, the two of them, us is like capitalized. Both letters are capitalized. Where is it? This line. Both letters are capitalized. And it like became a thing where I had to like teach my brain to not read it as US. And so like, is that on purpose? Apparently this is the side, it is the side with, oh wait, 2 faded lovers? Oh my god, what is, anyways, yeah, that just broke my brain, okay? All that knowledge just broke my brain, things and stuff. I now need to think on it harder, knowing that was done on purpose. Because especially the ending, the very ending was about the end of a dream, in a way. And so, like, so now this may actually up my rating. What if I give it a 3? What if I give it a 3? I'm gonna sit on it for like 30 minutes. I'll come back to you at 9:30. I will not eat dinner during that time because I don't want ketchup on my face accidentally because I'm going to be having a hamburger. So I'll just eat after 9 p.m. It's fine. The last time I did that, I did not stay up until 2 a.m. accidentally because of it. That was a lie. That was a lie. It's fine. It's okay. I'll talk to you in like 30 minutes. Bye. Just remembered to erase it from the whiteboard. I'm gonna have to get out my spray. Ignore how it's off center. I already took pictures for thumbnails. Ignore how it's off center. Hello, welcome to my rose scented spray and a bit of paper towel to erase it. Yes, I did put my brace back on because my wrist is killing me. It's fine. It's fine. What a wonderful noise. Oh, that was so wonderful. Book. In case you're wondering what happened to all the sticky notes, I did take one words of notes of things I wanted to say in this update. But I just put them in a giant pile. Just put them all in a pile on the middle of my desk. And so any editing notes or anything like that are just like one sentence quick things to write down, I can use them up, and so that they're not being wasted. I mean, I've already used another one for a note for this vlog, so like it happens for vlogs anyways, might as well use those up, right? The end on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to know I rated Only Revolutions 3 stars. I feel weird about this. It really makes me think highly of what's gonna happen when I read House of Leaves, because I liked that one a lot. Or what? I liked the vibes more of that one when I opened it, when I got them. So I think there's a higher chance I'll like it. I would like everyone to know one of my favorite parts about this book is that if you ever want to know how many more pages you have left in the book, just look at the other number that's upside down on the page. It was very beneficial. So things. There is a Romeo and Juliet comparison for this book. That's the first thing on my notes. You may be like, bitch, where? The synopsis on Storygraph. It has 2 separate synopses, one from him, one from her, and he calls them Romeo and Juliet. And there's a point where he's called Romeo, and at another point he's called Juliet, I'm pretty sure. One's called Juliet also, but he is definitely called Romeo at one point. But yeah, I get the comparison now. Listen, reading that ending. Also with that comes with in the like last third of the book, I was noticing the way that it was being written in general. One, the way that it has to be exactly, what was it, 80 words or whatever like that on a section, right? And the way that the rhyming was done with that was reminding me some of my favorite parts of Shakespeare. Just the rhyming aspect. Not like any of the other writing, just that aspect. It was itching my brain a little bit. And then I remembered that Romeo and Juliet comparison. And then the ending happened. And I went, wait a second. This ending is kind of Romeo and Juliet. That's not really a spoiler. And then, because I was thinking of Shakespeare in general, and I was like, wait a second, that's what I was reminding me of. The writing style in the last third was reminding me of a little bit. It was very Shakespearean. It fell off. You did not just hear my hip pop. You did not. We're ignoring that. Oh, that was loud. Anyways. Oh yeah. So this is like a theory thing I started getting shortly into the second half, like within the first few pages. Which is my evidence for this is one, how the text gets smaller the further along you get after this, like into the second half, right? As it's getting tinier and tinier, and really I thought I was gonna have to get a magnifying glass out. But also there's a thing where they start using each other's terms and/or sayings in their own sections. There's 3 clear evidence pieces. One of them is kind of a spoiler for the ending. I think that happens in like the last 3 pages. I was expecting it, so when it happened, I was like, ooh, yes, okay, that thing I was expecting. I would have been more upset if it didn't happen, honestly. But the other things was, throughout the first half, whenever one of them describes what the other one is wearing, they're always wearing overalls. But starting within like the first few pages of the second half, they start describing themselves as the one wearing overalls. And I was like, that's a little weird. But also in the portion when they have the job, the first part of that, up until the first half, end of the first half, in his sections, it is described as him getting knives thrown at him by the other chefs at the restaurant. But in her sections, it's bread being thrown at him. And then all of a sudden, like 20 pages, if that, into the second half of the book, she is now describing it as knives, and he's describing it as bread being thrown at him and pastries. And I was like, that's a little interesting. And then you get the O's. You get the O's. The thing with the O's that I brought up already, where I started being like, wait a second, is the text getting smaller because they themselves are becoming smaller and becoming more like the other person in their relationship? And so as time goes on, they're becoming less of two individual people and more of like just one being, one person, one dream, all this stuff. And then the ending happens, and for lack of a better term, without spoiling it, time catches up with them. Because I think that's what was happening in the second half. That was my big brain thought analysis during the second half. I'm very proud of me for coming up for that one. Thank you, goodbye. I'm just gonna watch the circles go around each other. It's really fun. Anyways, oh yeah, what also is Romeo and Juliet in one of these, Fated Lovers, Indefinable Longing, Love for What is Beyond History, It Dares the Grand Emotions, you know, in the About page. How are you? All this is backwards. How am I supposed to read that? I want to read it, but I can't because it's backwards. Is it backwards on this side too? Right word hole, I think. I don't know. It's also backwards on this. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. I feel like there's like insider info on like everything, and I didn't get all of it. Good news is I figured out where it's going on my bookshelves, so that's great. Also, I am going to film the intro horror. Intro horror? Me. It's after 9 p.m. You can't talk to me like this. We all know. I'm tired. All I've done today is read this. The horror intro, which you should have already seen. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be horrible. I know it. Well, I'm gonna have a great time. And by that I mean I'm gonna put so much work into editing this, and I hate past or future me, apparently. I hate future me. Anyways, yeah, I rated it 3 stars. I think I hated it. At least for like the first half, really. But then I kind of loved it. Right? Like we all saw my reactions during the first half, okay? Now the one point of reactions you're probably gonna get, I don't know, there may be one where I look like really sad at the end, but I don't know if I'm like actually noticeably sad at the end. But when I, at like the last like 6 flips, I think it was, I turned on the cam again, for reacting, was because it was like the last sex scene, but also like the first one in a long time. And that's like why my face is all like that, because that's also the one where I was also expecting this. Ever since she said that she couldn't reach completion, I was like, oh no, there's gonna be a point where they do. There's also a whole thing where he, ever since their first time, is all like, I will never inside of you. But let me tell you, the last sex scene in this whole entire book is her reaching completion and him inside of her. And that's what my face was about. This one, at least that one, it was the least disgusting of all of them. I say that from her POV. Oh my god, it was so gross. The way the inside of her went, it was like, I don't even want to just, like, I don't know how to, I want to know what page it was on. I think it was before, yeah, before this. Okay, so 313 on this side. 313 on this side. You have to hear this. This is torture for me. You have to hear so you can understand some of this torture. Not just, oh yeah, and I quote, "I won't pull out, not a side, but this time remaining gigantic up my thighs." I don't, why? Why? I don't want to know where his goes every single time. Trust me, I know, because the book tells me. I don't want to know. That's the part I don't like. And it's kind of, it's giving gross to be gross. The same reason why the N-word and the R-word like 2 or 3 times, N-word once, I think. At least in the actual book, not in the, I didn't check any of the headlines for that really, but, yeah, no, the N-word was done once, and the, R-word was used 2 or 3 times. First time within, like, the first, like, 5 pages, and I went, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Which, I hate using it's a product of his time for that one, but it is from 2006, and I remember people in school when I was 7 years old using the R word. Okay, so, like, I guess. Anyways, yeah, no, at least I will give the book this. It has queer representation and disability representation, and any of the people represented by this are never hated upon by the main characters, or really anybody we see, for this. There's at one point in the hospital, their doctor is in a wheelchair, right? Their favorite clients in the restaurant are a bunch of old guys who have canes and wheelchairs and whatnot that they help out, and Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And then there's, I mean, Haley herself is assumably bisexual or pansexual, because she's been with both men and women. She kisses multiple women throughout this book. Right, but also there's like at a point there's a groundskeeper who in Haley's POV it's a woman, in his POV it's a man, but no matter which POV it's in, they're gay, right? And there's multiple times like that where there's just like gay people around, and it's not bad, so I will give the book that positive for 2006, a miracle. Oh my god. That's that. That's my thoughts. The sex scenes are gross, and I don't know why. I don't know why. They just seem to be in here to gross me out, and I hate it. Anyways, that's like my main complaint, honestly, those. And it did take me a little bit to get into, but that's because, like, that was, like, a lot in the first 100 pages. Once that calmed down, and they weren't going at it all the time, at least on page, it got better for me. And we love that for me. I'm done. I'm gonna end this. We're gonna go eat dinner. What time is it? I'm hungry. It's 9:45 and I haven't eaten dinner yet. In my defense, I did have nachos like 4 hours ago. It's fine. It's fine. That's the review for this. When is the House of Leaves episode coming out? I don't know. Don't know. I want March. But we'll see, because it's gonna be planned next year anyways. We'll see when I can make that happen. March feels like the right vibe for that, because it's when it gets, like, starting to warm up, but still chilly type vibe. Feels like the right vibe for House of Leaves. And I don't want to wait till October again. If you want more of me reading weird books, I read a whole entire series of silverware smut. That's not a joke. Don't worry, there are also super soldiers turned into silverware from World War II. So, you know, it's also that. There's more of those types of things coming along as well. Because I read normal books. There's a reason why when I told people this is the weirdest book I've read, they went, this is the weirdest book, and then I would open it up and show them, and they went, never mind. Anyways, so if that's your type of thing, I have those type of videos. I have a bunch of other random videos. You can watch them. Wednesdays are gaming leftover from Twitch, right? Which I stream all the time. I didn't today, but I stream almost every day. And, I mean, I stream during some of reading of this. So if you want to know what's being read early streams, because I'm usually talking about them and reading them in streams before I even talk about them in vlogs. That's why my thoughts are sometimes coherent. And then Saturdays are when I do booktube videos like this bad boy. That's everything. Everything's linked below as per usual. That's it. I feel like, do I want to be one of those people who tells you to put emojis or leave a comment with an emoji to say that you've gone this far? I always want to be one of those people, but then I feel bad. If you're one of those people, if you want a car, do a car, because road. And there were like so many types of cars mentioned in this, and as a person who knows nothing about cars, I really went, uh-huh. Head empty, no thoughts. And that's it. I can't believe this is 3 stars. I was really expecting 1 stars. Honestly, a miracle. I'm not mad for the price that I spent on this. I don't know what it was, because I think it was like half off. I think I got both of them for the price of one of them. So I think it was like $25 for both. So honestly, not bad about the price, especially with how this is more of like a piece of art before it's a piece of literature sometimes. Which, you know, it's a good thing I'm into that. Anyways, goodbye until the next video.